Hey everybody, Chase here. I wanted to show you all my Javazon, my PVM Javazon build. I have had some individuals reach out to me and I really wanted to share that Javazon build with you all. So I'm going to go ahead and dig into that Javazon build so that you all can see what I did. It never died going all the way to 99 and I did 2 Zons, so it was great. Alright, so let's dig into that, okay? Alright, so first thing I want to address is I don't have max fire and cold. Let me put on Phoenix actually, because that's what I wear most of the time. So I don't have max fire, I don't have max cold. Here's the thing, fire damage is not super threatening. Venom Lords are going to be your highest threat. Fire Enchanted explodes as half physical and half fire, so that's not the biggest worry at all. And then cold doesn't even have cold mastery, so cold damage in D2 from monsters is very weak. Not even a concern there. My Zon takes maybe 5-10% of my entire life pool whenever a cold enchanted monster dies, so super easy to deal with that. No issues at all. So you don't need cold, and fire you only need in certain locations. For example, do you need fire resistance in, let's say, the frozen river, right? Probably not. So you can skip out on that. Now, what you do want is you want light and poison res, and that is what you're going to aim for. And you have a few items you can do that with. And I'm going to show you my build across the board. We're going to go pretty quick here, okay? So main thing is you want 4 40 Javs with high stack size. The stack size means that you don't have to repair as often, whereas replenish is just, it's basically the same thing but just worse. Because really what you want to make a habit of is repairing every single game. You just pop in, go to the NPC, repair, move on with your life. Kind of annoying in Act 3, but whatever. Other than that, you're not going to be repairing ever again unless you're doing tombs or cows. And I'll show you how to cheese that. So what you do, you get up more 440s, put them in your cube or your inventory, however you're wanting to do it. I just use cube as my inventory. And you put them in your cube, you keep them there. When these run out, you just swap them in. Done. Easy, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Good little way to get past that. Now, we talked about Javs. Let's move on to the helmet. Helmet, we use a Cham Ruin. We don't want to wear Raven because Raven doesn't do anything. It's a melee item. It's not a Javazon item like everyone tries to say it is. It's not. So use Cham to get cannot be frozen. Okay? Your ring can be SOJ, which is a Javazon item. It gives you damage and it gives you mana, which is glorious. So this Javazon, we're going to cover it. It is highest quality of life, highest survivability, and then very good damage. That's the outlook we have. Okay? So here we have a 218 high mana, high res. You want the high mana, really you need the res too. You don't need a 19 FCR one. You can use all the way down to 15 if you want to copy my build. You don't need a 19. And it's because you're never going to take off the ring. Now, if you want to use a swappable ring, you could. Mine has 19 strength, so I can't do that. I can't swap my ring out because if I take it off, I just can't wear my gear. And then we're looking at other gear to swap out. Remember, this is also quality of life. And I want the highest quality of life. I swap instantly, done. And no more talk or concern about it. Obviously Enigma. And then here we have some rare boots. The main 3 stats you must have would be the resistances and the faster run walk. Then on the ring, the main stat you need is the faster cast rate and res. Your gloves need the increased attack speed, Jav skills, and then res. That's it. Those are the main ones. Now you can get other stuff. You can get the strength, you can get life rep, you can get strength on these, or dex if you want it or need it for some reason. You won't if you're using maidens. If you're using maidens, don't use anything but maidens, guys. Okay? And obviously, I would say you want 30 faster run walk. I wouldn't accept less than 20 for sure. You don't want something like none or 10. That's just trash. Even with Enigma, that's trash. Those are Charcy. Get rid of those. Alright, so main things there. Now, small charms, you got 2011s across the board, and then you got 125. and then you have 45 life Jav GCs. Obviously, you can budget these out. You could use 30s, you could use 20s, you could use planes, whatever you're willing to do. The main thing is you want to first focus on res, then you want to focus on life, and then you want to focus on mana. That's your outlook here, okay? Obviously, Sunder, and then we have Annie, and then we have Torch. CTA, and then Spirit, okay? So that's the main things you're looking at. Now, if you want to cheese fire res, so you see here I don't have much, but I do want fire res if I go into chaos. It's pretty dangerous in there, even with Phoenix. So what you do is you wear Flickering Flame and COH, and then that's going to push you to at least 75. I have 85 with Phoenix. With Spirit, which is what I usually use if I'm wearing Flickering Flame, I'm going to have 75. So obviously I don't right now, but if I would go down there and have 75. But Spirit is also a really good item to use when you need to keep up with the rest of the team. Usually if you're doing TZ and you're trying to teleport to Bell, you're trying to do tomb runs, you're trying to keep up in chaos. Bell, chaos, and tombs are your three that it's pretty much you've got to use Spirit. You're going to struggle if you don't. Now, if you're not the teleporter, you can then usually put Phoenix on. Definitely in Bell you can. Obviously, you're not teleporting around very much. And then for tombs, you're still going to need Spirit always there. Chaos, you can kind of pull off not using Spirit because you just kind of throw and then you move from seal to seal and stuff. I still prefer Spirit in that situation. Other than that, you can probably get away with using Phoenix most of the time in other areas. And if you're by yourself, you can use Phoenix all the time. I use Phoenix most of the time, but mainly on your Phoenix, you want 15 redemption. Now, real quick, we're gonna cover the mercenary setups. Okay, I'm gonna cover exactly how it works. You can go on max roll and check these things out yourself. Obviously, you got Flickering Flame, COH. This is not your highest DPS setup or survival or any of those things, but it gives you survival as the character against fire creatures and enemies. Okay, now, the best overall damage, survivability, crowd control reduction is Treachery and then Andes. Okay, so you want Andes with a increase attack speed, Joel, fire res, and then you want Treachery. Okay, those are two items you want. Now, next, that's your best overall, I would say. Now, if you want damage, and that's all you want, you would use Fortitude, and you would use Andes. If you just want your mercenary to do damage, you could put use the Might Mercenary, and then it's just huge damage. I personally don't care. I just use my Javazon does enough damage, so I'm not worried about my mercenary's damage that much. I just want my mercenary to not die or help me in some way. You can also use Cure. This will help you in Bell runs. It gets rid of Decreptify, so it's very helpful in that way. So you can use Cure if you want to. And Bell runs or any place where there's a lot of curses. Usually Chaos and Bell is about it. And then here is another setup that I don't see talked about very often. And this is actually your highest survivability setup you can have, period, on a mercenary. That's Act 2, okay? So use your Infinity or your Insight. In this case, we're using Infinity because it's a Javazon. But you use Fortitude and then a Cham Gaze, meaning your mercenary can never be frozen, and it's glorious, okay? So Gaze has magic damage reduction, which helps versus magic attacks. I believe it helps against poison, and then it has physical damage reduction as well of 20%, up to 20%, which is really, really strong. We really, really want that. And then Fortitude has damage reduction, physical damage reduction, so it helps reduce down the damage, the physical damage by 7 HP every hit. It has a little bit of life replenish. It has, and then of course resistances and massive damage. And then it gives chilling, so this is just a great armor. Many people would argue Fortitude is the best in the game. It's not exactly the best in every situation, but it is the best in many, many, many situations. So if you want survivability, you're going to go Fortitude, and you're going to go Vamp Gaze. If you want survivability, player 8, by the way. In player 1, I think all of these setups are pretty equal. You're just not going to take enough damage. Your mercenaries are not going to take enough damage really to die too much with any of these setups. They're all very good. But that's the main things with that. So, yep, this is your highest survivability. Andes plus fort, your highest DPS. Treachery plus Andes, your highest, I guess it kind of hits all the boxes, but jack of all trades type situation. And then you can use Cure and COH if you want to remove curses, poison, etc. And then you can wear Flickering Flame and COH if you want to cheese fire res and get your fire res up to max without having to wear or change your gear. Or wear anything that would give you fire res. So that's my Javazon build, you all. It does great in player 8. It does great by itself. I can lead the party. I can teleport. It's really, really strong. I did this build 2 times to 99. It did not die the entire time. I recommend this build all day long. You know, go with your J-mods and 640s all day if you want. But I think this build, once you use it, it is the absolute best build. I'll show you my mana and life, which it's incredible. With Spirit, I have over 1100 mana, and I have over 4300 life. With Phoenix, I go down to over 900 mana, and then I think it's 931, and then I go almost to 4.4k life, meaning you're really never going to die. 1, 2, you will have massive mana, and you're not going to have to mana pot if you're wearing Phoenix. It is glorious. And you will love it. Alright, everybody, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate everybody's support. You all did amazing watching my last video that I posted, so I really appreciate the support. Thank you all so much. You have a good day. Peace.